Thank you all so much coming through. We're live with the prodigious, the prominent professor at Proclamation News and Gatherence. Thank you ever so much for actually coming through to support the show, because I've got so much cognitive skills on influence my listeners that stay both observed and preserved. You're part of the aristocracy social elite. Thank you all for coming through. Appreciate it. What am I here for today? Because I am a capital P in proclamation. I'm a capital P in persuasion. I'm a capital P in persuasive. I'm a capital P in punctuation. I'm a capital P in provocative. I'm a capital P in propaganda. I'm a capital P in purity. I'm a capital P in progressive. I'm a capital P in progression. I'm a capital P in philanthropist. I'm sick of it. I'm a capital P in populism. I'm here today to give you what's going on inside the UK, dominion of the UK, road incidents. But first of all, I want to give a shout out, massive, huge shout out to our sponsors who keep the show motivated. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine's CCTV company. If you need CCTV put up in your business house, stay tuned. Listen on board. We are proudly sponsored by PSS Alarms. Very adequate and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered, including central station monitoring provided. All work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. He's carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house, Hertfordshire, Potter's Bar. He's carried out etiquette works in Essex, such as Casbah Restaurant, and many more big businesses. Please call Tarek Khan on 07908 216 142. 07908 216 142. Get yourself a pen. 07908 216 142. That's 07908 216 142. Installation of maintenance, intruder alarm, fire alarm, CCTV. All works guaranteed and certified to SSAIB standards. 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pubs, clubs, restaurants, or new business setup. Secure your business. Mention Professor Johnson for an extra discount. Secure your home, secure your business. Your safety and priorities within your business are paramount. So think safety and think first. Secure your equity. Absolutely. Anyone suffering depression, anxiety, another good business setup. Relax UK Limited. It's relax-uk.com. You can check this on Google. So, it's been going since 1997, this company. It's absolutely prodigious. If you want to recover, suffering mental health, this is all about mental well-being, health and fitness. So make sure you check out their website. Relax UK Limited, health, travel and wellness products since 1997. UK relaxation shops selling various ranges of products from relaxation, travel, well-being, biofeedback, sleeping and natural products. They've got the best essentials on the market. Very adequate with style and pragmatic percent. If you want to benefit from your anything in life, if you're a fashion, you want to be a fashion model, or you just want to look good in front of your friend, you want to feel good, you want a feel good factor, then look no further. Maybe you want to better your mental health, your well-being, then again, look no further. If you want to diet, look for some great products to buy, make sure you look at relax-uk.com. They've got the best products on the market. I had some vitamin C. It's the best vitamin C in the world. Comes from Germany. It's £30 a bottle, but you won't get no purified vitamin C than that. There's no point going to get £1 pound vitamin C tablets, because they haven't got this vitamin C that you need like these bottles have. Absolutely phenomenal. It's like getting a Formula One car and sticking Tesco's unleaded in. It's going to ruin the car. You know, it's going to ruin your body. So get the top stuff to one. You know, if you want one athleticism style shaped body, then you want the best stuff to look after yourself. Anyway, road incidents. Do not enter your vehicle under sleep deprivation, under influence of alcoholism or narcotics. So don't go out in your car after the next day. You went on a binge last night. Doesn't mean you go out in the car the next day. It takes 24 hours to get out of your system. And then the day after that, you might be sleep deprived. So you need to make sure you've had plenty of sleep before entering your vehicle or traveling to work. You don't lose your license. Think safety, think first. You could take a victim's life on the road for your stupidity. It happens all the time. There's road incidents all the time. Every day there's a tragic on the road. Every day. And 9 times out of 10 is to a juvenile activity. Maybe boy races going about a driving license or insurance. And you hit the victim, they're not insured to pay for the cost of their death or newborn baby or someone's mother or father. You know, you really got to think about how you enter the UK roads. Do not enter the vehicle without a seatbelt. You and your passengers on board, and your babies have a seatbelt adapter adjacent to the car seat. Make sure your engine oil and water coolant tank are filled up to maximum level. Check your PSI limits. Make sure your PSI is filled up. Make sure your tyres ain't bowled. Make sure your indicators are working. Headlights, you know, before going out at past 4 o'clock when it might get late. Make sure you've got plenty of fuel to your destination. Check for road safety signs. Check for police further road safety signs. Check your speed limits. Many things to think about while entering the UK roads. Check for pedestrians crossing the road. Make sure they cross the zebra crossing before you emerge back onto the road. Check for motorcyclists trying to overtake. Check your centre and wing mirror before turning into a safe, sufficient direction of choice. It's important. All these steps to safe driving is very, very important. I'm going to give you the road congestion so you can avoid congestion. Maybe you can take your family out. Maybe you're going to return home from work. If you're listening in, this Proclamation News and Gatherence is very prodigious, etiquette with style and pragmatic with sense. I don't know why I haven't got so many more subscribers, because you listen to the other radio presenters, they haven't got the cognitive skills I have, because we've all got different mindset, different goals, different gains. I'm giving you what's happening on the road congestion. You know, I'm giving you all the criminology that not many other radio presenters talk about. Anyway, in my constituency in Colchester, A133 construction, temporary traffic signals due to construction on A133 road, Colchester Road at Olands. Clacton-on-Sea, School Lane, telecoms work, traffic signals due to telecoms work on School Lane near Dolan Road. B1026, water main works, temporary traffic signals. This is all near Clacton-on-Sea. Temporary traffic signals due to water main work, B1206, street near B1023, Gelverdon Road. Colchester area, Hawksley Road, telecoms work, temporary traffic signals due to telecoms work on Hawksley Road near Traffic Road. School Lane, telecoms work, temporary traffic signals due to telecoms work on School Lane near Peldon Road. This is up near Colchester. I'm going to go look over towards my old constituency, because I've got some good friends and family up there too. Trying to find it. Hang on. Near Stevens, need to zoom in a bit more, I believe. Bedford, Cambridge. Newton, Stevenage, St Albans, near it. I'm near it. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. Bedford. Must be blind. Go zoom in. Go zoom in. Boy, you can't see. Here we go. Hartford is next. And Hartford, here we go. Hartford. A6102, construction to temporary traffic signals. A602, Ware Road, near A109. St Albans. South Mims. We can go South Mims because that's very, very close by. On the A1 at near South Mims. Road blocked. Rolled over vehicle, stationary traffic due to rolled over vehicle on the A1 northbound from A5135 Elstree Way near Bournemouth. Holiday Inn turn off to Junction 1 M25, Junction 23 South Mims. A1, several delays of 10 minutes and delays increasing on A1 northbound between A5135 Elstree Way, Bournemouth, Holiday Inn turn off, and Junction 1 M25, Junction 23 South Mims, average speed of 5 miles per hour. More on Brexit. You guys that are very interested in politics. Brexit, Boris Johnson prepared to throw farmers under the bus, says SNP. Boris Johnson is prepared to throw farmers and crofters under the Brexit bus in his bid to secure a trade deal with Australia, SNP's leader in Westminster has said. Ian Blackford urged the Prime Minister to rule out giving Australia tariff or tax-free access to its lamb and beef products. Mr Johnson replied that an agreement with Australia would be a massive opportunity for UK farmers. The Scottish Government has written the Trade Secretary about its concerns. Rural Affairs Secretary Mary Gougeon wrote a trade deal that liberalises tariffs for Australian farmers. To put it bluntly, will put UK farmers out of business. There are also reported tensions among ministers over the proposed trade pact. Currently, imports from Australia face tariffs, making their products more expensive to buy in the UK. Australia is one of a number of countries the UK is negotiating with to remove lower tariffs following its departure from the EU. It's a contradiction itself there. So we have to pay more for the Australian stuff. That's what it's saying, and they're going to get it cost-free. Well, not like cost-free, but they're going to get it, trade-free, the same as us what we'd pay. It's very, it's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. The BBC has been told that the Environment Secretary, George Eustice, has raised a number of concerns with Prime Minister and senior cabinet ministers about the deal trading away farmers' interests. I'm one always for backing Boris as well, but that I don't see what is logical about it at all. And the Financial Times reported that Cabinet Officer Minister Michael Gove is also concerned, while International Trade Secretary Liz Truss and Brexit Minister Lord Frost are more keen to grant tariff-free access to Australian goods. Speaking to MPs on Wednesday, Ms Truss said she was confident British farmers would thrive under a deal with Australia, adding it would have benefits for all nations and regions of the UK. Negotiators from both sides are currently in sprint with a view to get an agreement in principle by July, she added. One compromise Mr Eustice has suggested is to negotiate quotas on Australian meat imports, so that only a limited amount could be tariff-free. Labour First Minister of Wales, Mark Drakeford, will raise concerns about the impact of the deal with Welsh farmers in a meeting with Michael Gove later. Senior UK Cabinet ministers are expected to meet on Thursday morning to discuss how the agreement could impact farming. It'd be great for farmers, but it's all about reproduction, isn't it? Is there going to be enough to keep us afloat as well? are we going to take ourselves out of resources? Because we need that meat. We need that. We need to survive as well, don't we? If we got 67,000 populated in the UK, and Australia have got, I don't know, 120,000 populated in Australia, all going to have meat. Where is the subsidised going to be for us? Because I don't think there's enough meat to go around in the UK. Is there not enough farm fields? They're all taken up with buildings. So we've got to be careful here what we're doing. What's the point of David in Attenborough talking about national resources? How are we going to survive? What's the point of people, you know, all these documentary shows of how the world's going to end? What's the point? You might as well just abolish all the TV. You might as well just abolish all these channels, because Parliament is the biggest judiciary in the UK. Then you've got other critical thinkers, such as, I mean, ourselves. I'm a critical thinker anyway. I'm part of the union. I'm a critical thinker anyway. But I'm saying there's people higher up than me. I'm a professor because what I've put myself through in the years, over the years, absolutely. But these actual top professors have been in the business for a long time. You know, they've done uni since the day they could walk. I mean, these are the people I'm talking about, and it's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. We're going to share our local resources with Australia. It's quite a big country as well. Nail in the coffin. The subject was raised at Prime Minister's questions, where Mr. Blackford himself, a crofter, said a tariff-free deal with Australia would be the final nail in the coffin for many Scottish crofters and farmers. He added it would end a way of life that has endured for generations, and that families would be driven off the land. Yeah, us families will be driven off our own land, probably. Here, Mr. Johnson said permanently ruled out signing up to an agreement that would guarantee tariff-free access for Australian imports of lamb and beef. Prime Minister did not give the guarantee, instead accusing Mr. Blackford of grossly underestimating UK farmers' ability to make the most of free trade. And he said the SNP MP was frightened of free trade. I'm not going to totally write Boris Johnson off, because that is his line of work. Many moons ago, this sort of work would have been his line of work. I'm quite assuming this would have been his line of work many moons ago. Mr. Johnson said the MP had no ambition for Welsh farmers, and that it was a disgrace that not just a single morsel of Welsh lamb has passed the lips of Americans in the past 20 years. However, this trade needs to be balanced, and we need to make sure concerns to our hugely valuable home market are not given away lightly. There is a very real risk that it will get it wrong. UK farming will suffer irreversibly damage rather than flourish in a way of we all desire, to the detriment of our environment, our food security, and our rural communities. It's definitely good for the farming industry in an economic subject, absolutely. So I think that's Boris is probably more looking towards getting our economy moving again, getting families supported financially. The government says our ability to do trade deals around the world is one of the big benefits of Brexit. They've been trumpeting all sorts of deals over the last year, but those deals are basically rollovers of what we had before as members of the EU. The deal with Australia would be the first big deal to expand markets. So it is politically and symbolically important, but at what price? Australia wants tax-free access to our markets for their big industrial farms, so they can export lamb and sheep more cheaply. But farmers here are saying we wouldn't be able to survive that competition unless we are protected by tariffs. They say a free trade deal would only add a tiny bit to the size of the British economy, so it is really worth threatening farmers for that. They also say there is also a precedent being set. Australia may be a relatively small market, but if they get a complete tariff, free access, then what will the Americans or Brazilians want to have? we've got to think of the size of a population before they get into these deals. I don't know. I know they're critical thinkers themselves. They've been in the business a long time. They must know what they're doing. It does worry you. It does worry you. I mean, we've got Indian variant coming over, and the Indian variant's getting in. Why are they getting through our borders still when our borders have the traffic light system? UK Australian trade. The UK is Australia's 7th largest trading partner, while Australia is the UK's 20th largest trading partner. The UK's largest goods export to Australia is cars and trucks, 757 million. Australia's largest exported good to the UK is led to 267 million. The government says a free trade agreement with Australia could increase UK exports to Australia by up to 900 million. It also estimates a deal would increase workers' wage by a 0.2% to a 0.7%. Ballymurphy. Boris Johnson apologising in the House of Commons. The Prime Minister has publicly apologised to the families of the 10 people killed by the Ballymurphy in 1971. Boris Johnson began Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday by reading the names of the victims. He went on to say that he was sorry for how the investigations were handled and for the pain endured by the families. Last week, an inquest found that the victims, who were shot during an army operation in Belfast, were entirely innocent. Mr. Johnson told the House of Commons, no apology can lessen their lasting pain. I hope they may take some comfort in the answers they have secured, and in knowing this, has renewed the government's determination to ensure in the future that other families can find answers without distress and delay. Total unacceptable. John Teggett, whose father Daniel was one of those killed in Ballymurphy, has called Boris Johnson's apology totally unacceptable and said he personally rejects it. Speaking to BBC Radio, full Mr. Teggett labelled Mr. Johnson's apology totally insincere and said it again has caused annoyance to the families. Mr. Teggett ruled out over meeting the Prime Minister and said he wouldn't waste a minute of his time with him. I won't be letting him annoy me anymore. I have no time for him and his feeble attempts to apologise. Mr. Teggett said he said Mr. Johnson's apology should have focused on our loved ones who were murdered and not how the investigation was handled. Mr. Ballymurphy massacre families were not informed that Boris Johnson was making a statement today in the House of Commons. We found out from journalists yet again that was not an apology. Boris did not apologise for the killings of our loved ones. No disrespect. I mean, I'm supporting Boris Johnson as I see it from lots of me and you in that situation. He's up against a lot of things day in, day out, like anyone. If you're a doctor, you're trying to sort out patients. You've got some ill-mannered patients coming through the door. It's how you during a conflict or a situation, is how you counteract at that specific time to give a clear-cut answer. You can't always give a clear-cut, honest answer that's going to make everyone smile. You try your best, but you can't always do it. So when you get these people criticise and write them off in the media, you read them things in black and white. I think once they sit down and think about it, I think actually, yeah, he might have just come out, he might have just made a mistake, come out of a total different discussion. He's more worried about, like you're saying, more worried about how they handled the accusation than what actually happened to the families. But, some people do tackle things, make mistakes sometimes, every now and then. Ain't a biggie, but at least he's still concerned about what happened. That is the main thing. Mary Kate Quinn, whose uncle John Laverty was killed in Ballymurphy, said the Ballymurphy families were not informed that Mr. Johnson was making a statement on Wednesday in the House of Commons. In a tweet, Mrs. Quinn said, "We found out from journalists yet again there was not an apology. Boris did not apologise for the killings of our loved ones." Among the victims were a priest who was trying to help a wounded and mother of 8. 9 of 10 victims were killed by the army. The coroner said. However, Mr. Justice Keegan said she could not definitely rule out who shot the 10th victim, former World War II soldier John McCurr. Families of the victims received a written apology from Mr. Johnson last week, which they said had angered them. They said the letter was received minutes before Northern Ireland Secretary Brandon Lewis apologised in Parliament for the events in Ballymurphy in 1971. Mr. Lewis said the events at Ballymurphy should never have happened. Right thing. Mr. Johnson also told Parliament that the UK government was committed to introducing legislation in the current session to address the legacy of the Troubles and to introduce a fair package for veterans as well, to protect them from unfair, vexatious litigation when no new evidence has been brought forward, Mr. Johnson said. I'll tell you why Mr. Johnson is not getting involved in it. There's no qualitative evidence of what happened. It was 1971. We're 2021. Talking 50 years ago. Talking 50 years ago. Talking 50 years ago. Where's the qualitative evidence? There's no one really, Boris Johnson is probably old enough, but he's only a kid. So there's no qualitative evidence there enough for him to get him, to intervene or say too much. And he's also looking out for the veterans. That's all, protect our country for the Gulf War, everything else. So he's in between a hard rock and a nail. Which way does he go? Based on details of the plan leaked in recent weeks, it is proposed that all persecution prior to 1998 and related to the Troubles will, in future, be banned under a statute of limitations. Yeah, what's Boris Johnson going to jump on the bandwagon? He's not going to work off quantitative evidence. No one's going to work off quantitative evidence. Well, some people might. A lot of Facebook critics will go off quantitative evidence and jump on the bandwagon. So journalists, that's how journalists write an article. Journalists will write an article on quantitative evidence. They'll never write an article on qualitative evidence. It doesn't write a newspaper. If you write a qualitative evidence, it wouldn't write a newspaper. It's giving you all the true facts. It's not, and then you won't read it because you've got the true facts in front of you. That's why I'm sitting here giving you qualitative advice about what's going on in the media. I've been doing media studies since 1996. I've got so much cognitive skills to help you through it. Sinn Féin President Mary Lou McDonald said Mr. Johnson had added insult to injury. I don't think that he has delivered anything to approximate a sincere or complete apology. Ms. McDonald said the bigger problem beyond that is that Boris Johnson and his government are determined to deliver an amnesty for the British soldiers. SDLP leader and former MP Colin Eastwood said Mr. Johnson's apology was too little, too late. I don't know. He couldn't make a proper apology to the families last week when he had many opportunities, Mr. Eastwood said. He didn't actually apologise for their loved ones being killed by British soldiers. I just think it was quite frankly insulting to the victims. Mr. Eastwood said the Prime Minister should have met the families in Belfast. Simon Hoare, Northern Ireland Affairs Committee Chair, said he had hoped the Prime Minister would give an apology and he was pleased that he had now done so. I think it was the right thing for the Prime Minister to do, Mr. Hoare said. I'll give you my verdict, and I'm not being horrible. Is it Mr. Johnson's position to say apologise? Was it him that done it? Was was it Mr. Johnson that done the killing? Has he got to say sorry for that Armed Forces of 1971? That probably not about anymore. Has he really got to say that? Or if they are about, they're on their last knock into their life. Does he really have to say that? No disrespect. Does he have to say, I'm sorry for what someone else done? Because again, it's quantitative evidence. It's quantitative evidence. And all these people in the media making a mountain out of a molehill. Essex crime. 2 men charged and due in court after religiously aggravated attack on rabbi in Chigwell. If you think I'm being a bit obscure or out of character, please, you're welcome to constructive criticism. But theoretically, Boris hasn't got to say sorry for COVID. You all died of COVID. Boris hasn't got to say nothing, has he? Yeah, he's a prime minister. Why has he got to say sorry for everyone dying? Sorry that your mum died of cancer or your dad died of a heart failure or whatever. Why has Boris got to say that? He hasn't got to say nothing. He does say sorry, and for a lot of things, but he hasn't got to. So he hasn't got to do nothing. 2 men have been charged after a serious attack on a rabbi in Chigwell, Essex, on Sunday, May 16th. At around 1:15 p.m. on Lions Avenue, Chigwell, Essex, a 31-year-old man identified as a local rabbi was attacked by 2 men in broad daylight. The 31-year-old man was rushed to hospital with head wounds, and yesterday 2 men were arrested in connection with the attack. Yesterday, Wednesday, May 18th, 2 men have been charged in relation to the attack. An Essex police spokesperson said Abraham Bahimi, 25, and Saraka Dijabori, 18, both of Tudor Crescent, Ilford, are due to appear at Colchester Magistrates Courts. Why do I don't have to do this? I literally don't have to give you the updates of all the criminology, all the road accidents, and give you a guidance to a puristic lifestyle. Give your younger youth for today generation the guidance to, a good lifestyle, away from being a juvenile, away from breaching ASBO, away from, I can educate the whole parenting. I can educate parenting skills, I could do many things, but I'm doing it for free. I'm a philanthropist. I don't get paid for what I do. I'm doing it for a philanthropist because I enjoy it. Actually, I'm paying to do what I'm doing. I have to pay for my cast box. I have to pay for this thing I'm on now. I'm losing. I'm not earning money. I'm losing money. I'm not getting support from you lot giving you a good guidance to a good life, which I should be, because I'm a phenomenal speaker. I don't. They are charged with wounding them and with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, robbery, and religiously aggravated criminal damage. The Chigwell attack was initially described as a religiously aggravated assault by police, and the 2 men have been charged with religiously aggravated criminal damage. It comes after violence has escalated in Israel and Palestine. Videos have been widely shared online showing people shouting abuse to Jewish people in England. So it's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Why is it escalating over what's going on over there to over here? It shouldn't be. It's nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with the Jewish people here. It's not in our country. It's what's happening over there. No need to ruin our country because what's going on over there. If you might as well go back to your own country, you're going to act out of character. Billy Wimpy restaurant to once serve Brad Pitt set to close for good. It's been on the high street for decades, the Wimpy in Billericay. They're going to shut it down. Wimpy restaurant that once served Hollywood superstar Brad Pitt is soon shutting down for good. The iconic British Brands restaurant on High Street in Billericay, Essex will serve its final customers this Saturday, May the 22nd. Anyone want to take your last trip to Wimpy, please visit this Saturday to say say their goodbyes. Give your condolences on their business shutting down. They'll probably regret it if herds of people turn up and get a good business that day. Owners confirmed the closure date of the food spot, which has been situated in the high street for decades. Replacing it will be a Millie's Fried Chicken restaurant, which has a number of locations in Bristol and south west of England, with plans already submitted to Basden Borough Council. The restaurant made national headlines in 2014 when Hollywood superstar Brad Pitt popped in for dinner after filming the zombie movie World War Z at nearby Hammondfield Reservoir. I don't know about you guys, this is a phenomenal show. Pitt reportedly ate inside, surrounded by bodyguards before going for a few drinks at a nearby high street pub. The Wimpy is one of only major fast food brands on Billericay High Street, with the only other major players being a Subway sandwich shop and Domino's delivery store. Wimpy fans in Billericay will have to travel to Basden Town Centre to get their fix, or to Tarpots in South Benfleet. Lego launches LGBT, and everyone is awesome rainbow set, new Lego set for kids to let them know what LGBT is. I wanted to create a model that symbolises inclusivity and celebrates everyone, no matter how they identify or who they love. Lego set is like rainbow set, all different colours. Lego is launching a rainbow themed Everyone is Awesome set to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community. The 346 piece model set features of 11 monochrome figures, each with their own individual hairstyle and rainbow colour. Matthew Ashton, who designed the collection, said, "I wanted to create a model that symbolises inclusivity and celebrates everyone, no matter how they identify or who they love." Mr. Ashton, who is the company's vice president of design, said he created this set because representation is important. Writing on the official Lego website, he said, "I grew up in the 80s and was obviously a gay kid. There was lots of negativity back then around being gay. It was right in the middle of the AIDS crisis when I was young, teen, and that was incredibly daunting and scary. Being quiet and effeminate kid, I was constantly being told by different adults around me what I should and shouldn't play with. That I need to behave like a real boy and to toughen up. I was dissuaded from doing the things that come most naturally to me. The figures include black and brown colours and represent a broad diversity within the community, and pale blue, white and pink to embrace the support of trans community. The set of Purple Drag Queen was a clear nod to the fabulous side of the LGBTQIA plus community," Mr. Ashton said. People that don't understand the gay community, it upsets me. I mean, I've been used to understand it at a young age, but as I matured, I understand trans. I've had a trans friend, a very, very close transsexual friend, had the operation, everything. Absolutely wonderful. She was born a lady, but in a man's body. But now she's had the operation. She's actually the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. But we're actually good friends. We are adamantly good friends. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but we are good friends. We had dinner together. I've come to mine for dinner. I've gone hers for dinner. We are good, close friends. I've got no qualms about transsexual. I've got no qualms about gays. They're nice. If they're nice, they're nice. Simple as that. It's the same as anyone. Male, female, whatever you are. If you're nice, you're nice. I'll get on with you. All well and good. We're friends. No problem. Hearing that coming out can be a lonely time. Adding, if I've been given this set by somebody at the point in my life, it would have been such a relief to know that somebody had my back. To know that I had somebody there to say, "I love you. I believe in you. I'll always be there for you." So in a way, this set is not just for the LGBTQIA and plus community. It's for all of their allies, parents, siblings, friends, schoolmates, colleagues, and out there as well. The set will go on sale on June the 1st, coinciding with the start of the Pride Month, and will be available across the digital and retail stores for a recommended retail price of £30.99. COVID. Use common sense on overseas travel, says Shaps. Travellers should use common sense when considering overseas trips. The Transport Secretary has said, as he defended UK's traffic light system. Grant Shapps, he's from the constituency of Hertfordshire, Hatfield. Grant Shapps said, people should only go to countries on the amber list in exceptional circumstances and be concerned over the Indian COVID variant. The boss of airline EasyJet said people were confused by the system. Ministers say they can carry out 10,000 checks a day in England to ensure travellers self-isolate where needed. Asked on BBC Breakfast whether it is responsible to go on holiday to an amber country, Mr. Shepp said, "Their guidance is not to. We've said you should only go to amber countries in exceptional circumstances." He said England was moving towards unlock, having passed the third stage on its roadmap out of coronavirus restrictions, and was starting to shift responsibility back to individuals. "We're not forcing people to travel right now," he said, adding that anyone in airports will already have taken COVID tests. Asked about photographs of passengers queuing at Heathrow Airport, Mr. Shepp said he wanted to see people separated as much as practically possible, and the government has asked whether unused terminals could be brought into play. The airport was responded at the beginning of next month, he said. Labour's Shadow International Trade Secretary Emily Thornberry called for the traffic light system to be paused and travel restrictions to be much stricter. I mean, this traffic light system is very exceptionally splendid. You know, things they can come out with to make it secure that you don't get covered. Because people, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, we should shut borders, do this," and there's other people saying we should do what we want. We do what we want. So at least they're giving a bit of give and take. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to work with the conflict, people protesting, causing mayhem outside Parliament, and they're trying to work with the idiots stating the obvious. Idiots stating the obvious. Yeah, all right. You sit in Parliament when your kids and your husband's at home, love. You sit inside Parliament while you got people threatening to blow up Parliament on your own and tell them, right, we're shutting all the borders. You can't do this. You can't breathe. You can't eat. You can't eat Indian. You can't eat Chinese. Yeah, you sit inside Parliament on your own, love, while you got 1 million people protesting outside, and one of them might have a petrol bomb thrown inside Parliament. You sit inside Parliament and do their job and tell me you can do a better job than them. Because to me, they're doing a phenomenal job, absolute phenomenal job. It's the biggest judiciary in the UK. If you've been to Parliament, the biggest judiciary in the UK. It's got about 30 policemen outside because they've got to be protected. And Parliament has been burnt down on bonfire night. So use your initiative, how they have to tackle, you know, they've got to tackle inhumane idiots and humane idiots. I mean, you're not even humane. Being a stupid critic, you're not even humane. You're inhumane. Being, you know, stating the obvious. Shut borders. Don't let Indians in. So right, you're not allowed to visit your mum. If your mum dies, you're not visiting your mum because you know Indians are over here, doctors, nurses, selling medicines. Same as Chinese. The English people are not taking the jobs. They're not getting the education to do these jobs. They're not bothered. So that's why we've got Indian over here. That's why we've got Chinese over here. And that's why we do trade with them. And they want to go back to visit their mums. If their mum's on their last legs or they've got to go back to help their mum because she's getting old, they go back to go and help their mum regardless. So you've got to be careful how you put comments down on social media. Think, Nigel. She told Sky News that passengers from the amber light red countries were spending 4 hours checked by Joy and presumably some great petri dish, potentially bringing Lord knows what into our country. Home Office said it had the capacity to carry out 10,000 home visits a day to ensure those arriving from the amber list countries self-isolate for 10 days, more than double the number of daily quarantine checks officials have made over the past week. Passengers who break the quarantine rules risk being fined of up to £10,000. EasyJet Chief Executive Johan Lundgren told BBC Radio 4's Today programme the government was almost dismantling its own system by discouraging travel to amber lights countries. He added that the UK risked falling being under European countries if it did not employ a data-based approach to open up travel and move some countries from the amber list to the green list. Some 2,967 cases of the Indian variant have now been identified in the UK. Health Secretary Matt Hancock on Wednesday, up from about 2,300 on Monday. Surge testing and jabs will be expanded to 6 new areas of concern in England. Combat is spread. A report seen by the BBC says failures in England's test and trace system are partly responsible for a surge in England. I've got a door, knock at the door, guys. I'm gonna have to call that it. I don't know how to. Just coming. Just going, sir.